Like Kobayashi.
Started coming into the episode 3 here, and got the original 2, I guess you could say, coming back because Josh is MIA at the moment.
You need more friends is what you need.
I don't need any friends. I don't need you either, but you're fucking here, lamping on my fucking killer instinct that you suck at, your cheat code using ass.
Wow!
Yeah, I had to cut you off before you even got started. Clarence Murphy and Jason Griffin. Griffin, I always fuck your name up. I want to say Griffin because I watch Family Guy too much. Don't hold it against me. Well, basically what we're going to talk about today is our ventures in the workplace. More from Jason and I, more so the hospitality market, but we definitely have some customer service related stuff between me and Clarence. Clarence has worked how many different customer service jobs?
Shoo.
Pretty much everything you've done since you've been in the workforce,
Right.
I imagine.
Almost everything.
I really feel like you need to step outside your boundaries and do a labor job once, because you might actually appreciate it. I'm not dogging you.
You're not gonna put me on blast in front of all these white people.
No, I didn't even mean like I'm just saying like if I had it up to me right now, I would be doing something that's pure labor. I'd rather, like with my job, even though I clean all night, I would rather just be a cleaner. That way I don't have to do that like hour and a half worth of bullshit desk work and deal with a bunch of fucking members that or what they. Oh god. Yeah, I know. I hear it. I'm just gonna ignore it. Pretend. Let her come up. She's gonna want me to try one of the devil eggs that she made, which I'm excited to try them. But I'm pretty sure I did tell her that what we were doing, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like they can spend all day sitting around talking about how we didn't fucking listen, but sure as fuck it seems like this important stuff we tell them, they somehow escapes them, right? You can tell them 100 fucking things, and the only thing they hear is negative stuff.
And then you talk to Kate, and all you hear is Japan. I had to do it for the sake of her hearing that.
If she, I don't think she even listens to these, but so let's just start it off now with where we're at. I guess you'd say I'm in Planet Gimmick or Planet Fitness.
Planet Gimmick.
Yeah. Jason, you are currently
still at the country club,
and now going back to the creamery, which is it's under new management, correct?
Yeah, new ownership.
Oh, new ownership too. Well, new management too, I would think.
Same thing, may as well be.
Clarence is at the Madonna of call centers, and I call it Madonna because it changes its name more than any fucking. I was gonna say, my God, I was gonna say it's ridiculous, but it's the artist formerly known as Xerox,
ACS.
or ACS is Xerox.
The artist formerly known as ACS.
So basically, what I wanted to really touch on was a lot of the work ethic that some of the people that we have worked with and do work with have. Talk about some of the crooked bullshit we've dealt with in the past, different jobs and stuff like that. That's more so towards Jason, although Clarence, I'm sure you've probably seen your fair share of clicky bullshit at your jobs. But I'm more with Jason. I'm talking more so
the
about
hotel.
The hotel. I was gonna say because that's a whole other fucking
KFC.
Yeah, I'm sure KFC has its. As I say, KFC has its things too, but I feel like I'm going to open it up to Clarence more so because Jason and I will probably get on a tirade about the.
Y'all tirade. I'm more of a quiet soul. I'll chime in.
All
Not
right.
even because this is here, but because
So, no, that's fine. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and finish, Clarence.
I'm more of a quiet soul.
He's distracted with video games. That's what.
Fuck off, right?
I was going to say, I like how the
You're
black
absolutely right.
the black man's one that uses the word soul. I'm gonna throw that in there. But okay, so Clarence, yeah, I'm already fucking shut up. Jason, when did you first start at the? For the sake of the video, I don't care about name dropping the name of the business, but obviously it's now a Ramada. It's no longer a Holiday Inn. But when did you start at the Holiday Inn?
Oh, but March 2009.
So basically, as that was literally the year after I graduated high school. We have that. We have like a was it 3-year age gap? I'm 25, you're 28, right?
Yeah.
So. Now, more so, like, what was your introduction to the place? Like, how did you get hired? Who was the person who hired you? And
how he slept his way to the top.
Well, I mean, everybody.
Allegedly.
Right.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
That has never been proven.
And from what I'm guessing is, if you were back there in the 2009 era, I'm assuming that was probably whenever it was under, it wasn't Prism. It was, what was the other company's name? at the time.
Archon.
Archon. So wow, because there was one before that too. There were Archon, and then there was something. Then it was Prism, Crown. So it went Archon, Crown, Prism, and now it's all.
No. Crown Archon.
Oh.
Then it was Pillar, Prism,
Wow. I
and
didn't.
whatever it is now.
I never heard that. I feel like Pillar was like a 2 or 3 month stint. Like I never heard about
That was the whole year that there was no real management there.
Was that the year basically that the bank bought the building?
Pretty well, and that was. I mean, stuff there always sucked. It always will suck because no one will spend money there to fix things the right way, and lack of manpower and lack of actual guidance from managers that know what they're doing. But
right,
that's neither here nor there.
There's definitely, as I say, regardless of what era, because I haven't said in my, I think I had almost a 5-year stint there. I want to say, and I go by eras. Like there was whenever when I first started there, there was that big heavyset black dude, and his name was Toasty. As I say, he was the manager. Then after he left, they had Toasty step in as a manager. Then whenever it started kind of running around, they had some like fucking temp guy come in named Michael Cole, which I couldn't take him serious at all because
Michael Cole,
right? I'm just sitting there thinking like this motherfucker. Every time we're gonna have a fucking staff meeting, he's like, "Can I have your attention?" The anonymous Royal General Manager, but no, we had him come in, and then
Eric's at the managers meeting saying, "Know your role, Jabroni.
Know your role."
And then finally, we had which was the era I left off with, was with Toasty. Obviously, you worked under that umbrella too. Now, as far as like my direct management went, you've met him. I think one of you two has met Adam Skinner.
No, I haven't.
Adam Skinner was the guy that hired me. I was gonna say at one point I even put a little shout out to CM Punk post on there because I got frustrated with the way stuff was there, and I even wrote I'm an Adam Skinner guy because Adam Skinner is the one that hired me. He wasn't part of the first clique that I was introduced to when I started working there. So he was, to me, like he was I guess you could say like I want to say because they weren't all dishonest people, but he was basically like the one guy that didn't fall into any cliques or deal with a bunch of that dumb bullshit. So it was Adam. Then after Adam left, it went to shit, like really bad, because they had they had Toasty as the fucking manager, like he was like a half fucking sales manager, half the front desk manager. Then they let Paul be the front desk supervisor, and he kind of lorded over that for a while. Me and him butted heads a couple times, but Paul is still a good guy in my book. I didn't have anything against Paul. And then after they Toasty and everybody got kicked out or whatever, they got rid of him, whatever happened because of the buyout or the Prism being taken over, or not taken over, but Prism losing it and it going to All City. They brought Toasty. He was a complete fucking douchebag. For the sake of the podcast, I'm not even going to bleep his fucking name out because I don't care. In the words of Bray Wyatt, if he has a problem, he can find me. Or Kevin Owens fight me. I'm going to just keep dropping wrestling names because we're going to segue into wrestling eventually, I think, anyway. But, so that's where I left off because once Toasty took over, he started bringing in some of his cronies. Yeah, one of which was one of the most frustrating people I've ever had the displeasure of working with. So that I kind of really elongated my stretch of the story there. I kind of cut Jason off, but
well, they're fine.
As I say, so how long did it take while you were first started working there to whenever like you started noticing like one that nobody cared about the state of the building? I mean, like the physical state of the building, and two, they didn't care about like the morale of the employees, and there was definitely little hugged up cliques and stuff like that. Or did that come afterward? Or
well, the first day in the kitchen, actually, you could see that there was definitely a work in progress. You know, definitely stuff that wasn't cleaned in a long time, and just everybody's morale was shot. And the first time around working there was always this like civil war between the morning shift and the night shift, and blaming each other for all the bullshit that ever was. And of course, all the gossips were in the first shift. Second shift was a little more laid back. Second shift was always more fun too.
Not to cut you off, but I have noticed that was a pattern I noticed even with whichever era I went through when I worked there, that anybody that worked that mid shift, the middle shift of the day, basically 3 to 11 or any of the other parts in between, that seemed to be like the workhorse group. as I say, you had all the cliques with all the high-end managers in the morning, and there was a lot of slacking and bullshit, and you had all the drama with the housekeeping girls and stuff like that. Then the middle shift would come in, and basically, you guys, the guys in the kitchen, and I know you work breakfast sometimes too, but like, the guys in the kitchen always busted their ass. You walk in the back or whatever, and you guys would be sweating your asses off and shit like that, and the people at the front desk always, myself included, we'd always get stuck holding the bag and dealing with a bunch of bullshit. And then you have the bartenders and stuff like, Jenny and Smitty and Dean, whenever he was still there. Well, he still is there, but while he was still bartending, so like, we basically were the ones that got the brunt of the bullshit. That's like, how many times did, since you had worked there, was there like a wedding that you just got dropped in your lap like the day you get there? Because I know that happened a couple of times while I worked there.
That shit happened a lot of times. Well, there was a sales manager at one point towards the end of my first time around working there. She was about as incompetent could get. The one damn time there was a plated wedding reception, and she had the dinner numbers backwards. So, we didn't find out that the numbers were backward until like an hour before the food was supposed to be out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, and this was back when, they were trying to save so much money that I was a one-man shift. I was my own prep cook, dishwasher, and line cook. Oh, and by the way, putting the banquet out, too. And then she says, oh, by the way, my numbers are fucked up,
So you not only are you basically
wearing
a pile of different hats, but now you got to fucking fix this major problem while that person's
I got doing. The 60 beef I was planning on and the 40 chicken I was planning on were flip-flops, so now I got to turn 40 chickens into 60, and I have all this extra beef I can't use.
Well, okay, in my book, I mean, obviously you're a chef. I consider, well, I mean, whatever you consider. You've worked in the food industry. I don't know if you're legitimately considered a chef or not. Like,
well, I have my degree, but it's actually like a formal job title. Like you're hired as the executive chef.
Right.
Now, I mean, as far as like qualifications, I mean, I know how to do the culinary
math
of it, but I've never been hired on as like any.
Well, I didn't know if calling you a chef would be not putting. I would say whatever it was burying you. We'll use that. I got to keep my wrestling lingo strong. But so my book on that is I feel like you almost have to skimp everybody's chicken. So like if you got to turn 40 into 20 or what was there 40 into 60, I feel like everybody's getting a smaller portion than what they should have gotten.
Well, actually, what I did was I actually made more is what I had to do, which was kind of ass backwards because like the 40 that were already there were prefab. You bought them in. The other 20 that I had to cover the spread with were made from scratch, so they looked different and even tasted different.
Well, so I'm sure you probably.
So 20 people got the hookup with some homemade scratch food, and the other 40 got the pop them in the oven cheap chicken cordon bleu dinners.
Boy, I bet that looked good on Yelp.
This is the same hotel where there'd be no limit on the open bars at the wedding receptions, where girls that ain't wearing any panties falling over each other on the dance floor.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Oh, there were times at the hotel, yes.
There's
I liked when I could clock out after shift, but then still stick around. Some of those wedding receptions were fun just to spectate.
There's, as I say, whenever it comes to that stuff, I mean that's completely spread all across the entire place. The overbooking. You're familiar with what the phrase overbooking means. We gotta let's just roundabout number. I can't exactly remember because I haven't worked there for it's almost been a year since I quit. So if we have 130 rooms, there was several nights where we would have sold like 140 rooms, and this is more or less this is after the Adam Skinner era. I will say this because I won't bury Adam Skinner because he was the one desk manager that I did, and not nothing against Paul either, because Paul took care of that kind of shit too. But some of the other eras, I guess you could say, like there would be times where we were booked like 10 rooms over, and you would call the manager and tell them about it, and be like, "What do I need to do?" And you would get zero fucking help from it.
Wow.
So you would have people. It would be anywhere between fucking 7 to 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? The later arrival time, people would be coming in. Well, I booked a king size bed. Well, I have no rooms left. I'm gonna have to walk you to here. You don't know if these people don't have enough gas to get there. Whatever the situation is, they might have picked that hotel because their family lives right up the street. So you got to deal with that kind of shit. And then there was times where they're like, people would request having like a rollaway bed. or some shit like that. And like all the rollaway beds would be used up, because we only had like 5, and these fucking things look like they'd been through war. It looked like people had just jumped and beat the piss out of them. So it almost looks like a poor man's stretcher. But you wouldn't have that. So you'd have like 4 or 5 like football players, or biker guy, whatever the thing was over the weekend, or whatever kind of little gathering they would have. You'd have like 8 people jammed into one room, sleeping on fucking floors and stuff like that. Then they would write bad reviews about the hotel, and the front desk staff and the housekeepers would get bitched at because of management not fucking thinking ahead and be like, maybe we should cover our bases. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing went around every department there. As I say, it was just absolutely 100% complete clusterfuck. So you got all this misguided bullshit going on there. Then you kind of get more entrenched into the cliquey bullshit, where you get people that aren't doing their jobs to the best of their ability, or not even trying at all. Hell, some of them not even showing up. If you get off at 11 o'clock at night, and you'd be stuck there till 3:30 in the morning, and because this employee smokes pot with this manager, or that this is where this person's getting their pills from, whatever the fucking case is. And it doesn't necessarily have to be drug drunk. They could be fucking, they could be just friends from high school, whatever.
Favoritism.
Yeah, you got the favoritism, but that's like I think another example. There was a girl that was hired, a younger girl that was hired, and she was working the front desk, I guess, just to learn how to do it. But then she ended up moving into one of the other office jobs there. And she somehow on her shift and this other friend that they had hired there, a younger guy, they lost like $90. That's $90 worth of cash that was lost, and not a fucking thing was done about it. But I remember like maybe the next week or so, I forgot to drop $1 because somebody bought a thing of laundry detergent, and I got threatened with a write-up and this, that, and the other. I got made an example out of whatever, and I'm not even just putting myself over. I was there. I pulled back-to-backs, did that, what I mean? I was always fucking there. I always did my job. Like, that was the kind of shit that we dealt with. I'm sure it kind of transferred, again, that kind of thing segued over in the kitchen, too. You probably found yourself in a lot of situations like that, right?
Well, not so much. The hotel had that problem in the kitchen. A lot of the problems with the kitchen is the expectation to deliver with something we don't have. Hell, their damn slicer, when I started there back in 2009 the first time around, their slicer needed outright replaced, period. There was no fixing it. It just needed to be thrown in the trash. It's straight up a liability, and that was in March of 2009. To this day, that slicer is still there, and it's going to continue to be there until it's a liability and someone hurts themselves on it.
Yeah, until somebody cuts their fingers off and you replace it.
And the thing is management there knows about this. And they've known for years.
Well, I'll go ahead and put this on blast right now. Do you remember, you were still working there, because there was this
Toasty!
There. Do you remember when
Toasty!
started there? You remember whenever they had that fucking gas leak, it was like methane or whatever it was, in the kitchen? And they were supposed to evacuate the hotel, and they didn't tell anybody to evacuate because they didn't want people freaking out and they didn't want to lose fucking money. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Methane is actually like the gas in a fart. I don't think it was methane.
Or whatever.
Some kind of yeah, they had some kind of issue.
I like a fart. I'm sure methane's in a lot of other things too, but the fart.
It just stuck out in my head. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I thought it was funny. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciated that.
Well, the place is so full of shit. That might be what it actually was.
Right. No, I get it. That's a fucking.
But yeah, Well, them hiring that guy is an executive chef. Well, I don't know, microwaving salmon, and then but they hired him in a box.
If I have to, I can go through and bleep out people's names if you feel as if that might cause any kind of an issue.
Just don't tag me in it.
You don't want to be tagged in this episode?
Probably not, because this is probably not going to stay PG.
Well, I mean, like I said, I can clean the audio up on this. I definitely can. Any F-bombs that get dropped, any name drops or whatever, I can clean all this up before I actually post it. So, but more or less.
Oh, I remember that. Well, there was also that time that we lost, like the whole downtown lost power, and they're still trying to serve food when we don't have any power.
They're going to make you guys go to the dollar store, which also doesn't have power, go pick up some candles or whatever, then come back and light the candles up and stuff. So the thing that really gets me is like, they put people like you in that situation, but I know for a fact that there was, and if you want to name drop this one, you can, I don't care, but there was a person that was pretty high up in the kitchen, and because of the position he was had and the friends he had there, this person would be the cook on certain nights, and he would just leave the building. He would be gone, out running around doing whatever the hell he wanted, leaving whoever else was there hanging, or, and especially for the bartender slash server that night. Like, I can't imagine, like, sitting there telling my cook, be like, hey, man, I need a burger, and then not wondering why I'm hearing anything go in the back, and hear the back doors left open, and this dude's downtown running around doing whatever the fuck he wants. Like, okay. So, more or less, all around the board, as I say, for anybody that cares to listen, as I say, I mean, I'm not trying to slanderize anything, but everything Jason and myself have just touched on so far is true. I don't recommend applying for a job there unless you really need money, because that you're just going to work yourself into a corner of fucking frustration. Unless you want to get clicked up with people. I mean, if you can get clicked up with people, make it work for you, go ahead. But that's definitely a place I don't recommend working anytime soon. As I say, I mean, I feel like we pretty much touched on everything. I just said everything I needed to say about the people being late and stuff like that, and dealing with all that backwards bullshit and the clicky stuff, and to touch on what you were talking about earlier, as far as the state of the kitchen. I mean, I don't work for the fucking health department. You know what I mean? I am a neat freak to a certain extent, but I understand an older dingy building. You know, I mean, what can you really do with it? I know they're making hops and bounds to try to, slowly but surely, I guess, bring the building up to some code. I mean, I think the building was built.
What people can see, not what they can't see.
Right. I was just saying, that kitchen's a goddamn joke, dude. I don't, like I said, the shape of it and stuff, the leaks in the fucking ceiling and this, that, and the other. Like, I know there's a leak in the ceiling right before you go in the back. Like, you walk in the kitchen, and to this day, I bet if me and I walked in right there's probably still a fucking a cooking pot sitting there catching the water from it instead of fucking them repairing that pipe. I don't understand.
Right there, where the 1-3 compartment sink was, from the back to the line, the back of the line.
Yeah.
They finally ripped that out, but my God, the water would get stopped up in that drain to the point it smelled damn near like raw sewage. Tell me that's healthy. And it doesn't matter what the hell you did, you could tell they just wouldn't be bothered to fix it.
Well, I'll tell you something else that's really, really good.
And it's one of those things. It's not the maintenance guy's fault.
No,
because it's to the point.
They have a good maintenance crew.
You needed to call an actual plumbing company and have the floor dug up, and they never would do it.
Well, we have a guest star of Taylor Reich. I was going to say, Taylor Reich brought us in some deviled eggs.
Well, you're the only one going to eat them. I don't like it.
I just want one. Can you take the rest of them down?
No.
What the fuck, man?
Don't shut the door. He's going to shit himself.
Yeah.
That many eggs.
He starts farting in this motherfucker.
Oh, God. If it starts smelling like
I only
sulfur.
ate one. I'll just take the rest of them down, put them in the fridge. I'm not worried. But, oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Speaking of dinginess and disgustingness down there, again, not trying to vary it too much, but I remember taking a clear plastic water bottle like this and going down and it being empty and thinking, okay, well, I'll just fill it up in the water fountain, and filling it up and then looking at the water bottle, and it wasn't because it was cold, because when a water bottle gets cold, it sweats, and it gets that kind of like that smoky gray look to it. The water was like gray and grimy and gross, because the water wasn't even that cold. I mean, I can't tell you probably when the last time that water filter was replaced. Just any, from the sanitation to the work morale to the way things are done there. I mean, it just, man, that is one of the most backwards places I have ever worked in. For whatever reason, I don't know why I stayed with that company.
Can I taste one of those, actually?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. I don't know why I stayed with that company as long as I did. So since me and I basically went on our tirade.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Since you and I went on our tirade about it, Clarence, I'm going to kind of give you the floor to kind of at least elaborate on some of the KFC. Here, you can take the plate to the holdout on that one and get stuff on the.
I want another one of those, actually.
Here, just take the plate. Jason looks appalled. He's like, I can't do it, man. Sounds like fart.
He won't even look up.
He's like, I can't fucking do it, man.
Get the fuck away.
The thing is, I ate pretty much almost everything, but I guess the deviled eggs is a texture thing. I just cannot.
Just leave it over there for now.
I just can't.
Or sit right there on that. Or sit in the chair. Addie not coming.
So what do you want to know about KFC?
I mean, you heard what Jason and I basically said about our experience at the hotel. You know what I mean? We try to be like I told him. I said earlier when you went to step out for your restroom break. I said, if need be, I can definitely bleep out any name drops that need to be done or vulgarity, which we actually haven't stepped over the vulgarity thing hardly at all. I think I dropped maybe 2 F-bombs. That was it. So.
Well, here's the thing with KFC. It's not so much clicky bullshit because I got along with almost everybody for the most part. The thing that got me is I was a motherfucker working 2 days a week, never called off, was there on time, never left early, and I had to fight for extra hours.
Meanwhile, you probably dealt with that thing where while you were there, you seen kids that were in quote unquote full-time slots.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Going to school, high school kids, going to school, getting better shifts than me. I'm 25 fucking years old, excuse my language, and I can't pay bills on a $200
paycheck.
Yeah, for every 2 weeks. I can't pay bills on that.
See, that was something else, and I don't mean to cut your story off. That's one thing I did want to bring up. I worked full-time at the hotel. Wasn't listed as a full-time employee because they only gave full-time things to people that was in the cliques.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they would hire new people, they would cut my hours back or whatever, and then they would, whenever they would not work out, be like, oh, we can rely on you, so we're going to give you full-time back.
Exactly.
Whenever the company got bought out, this fucking particular person who was never was smoking pot in rooms and stuff like that and always showing up late and stuff, he gets a $700 vacation check, and I got nothing. Because nobody ever cared to put me as a full-time employee, even though I worked well over fucking 40 hours every week. That's the kind of bullshit you deal with at places like that too. I was to say, even if you would have worked your way up and got the hours you wanted, you probably would have still consistently got shit on. That's like when Christmas came around last year. I didn't mean to turn this into a thing again. This is something I did forget about, so I got a rant while it's on my brain. When Christmas came around that year, they had a temporary person they brought in that was friends or whatever. So I'd been there the longest, had the most seniority, most reliability, worked all 3 shifts and everything. So they cut 2 days out of my time because the boss is friends with this fucking girl, this dramatic fucking cunt that works there. I don't care. I don't like that person at all.
I wonder who you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking
no
about.
Doubt.
But so they cut 2 of my days out so this kid could fucking work. And I heard it from Paul that basically Paul said something. Well, Eric's got a family, and the general manager basically said, "Well, I don't give a shit. We need to worry about our own budget." I'm starting thinking like, okay, well, if you're worried about budget, why are you gonna take the time to bring in a temporary hire and let him have 2 days a week just because you like the person? Again, clicky garbage bullshit that never fucking ends. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system too. But anyway, so basically you got starved. They basically starved you at KFC, didn't give you a chance to even grow in the company, so you didn't get a chance to get that, I guess you call it that, like, season where if you do something enough times, like, if you work 5 days a week, at whatever you do, whether you drive a train, you work in a nursery department, you white babies' asses, whatever you do, you got to do the same thing in repetition to get good at the job, right? You know that as a chef, and you know that is what you do now at the call center gig you got. So they don't give you the opportunity to grow in the company, but as I say, whenever these fucking high school kids that don't give a fuck about anything or whatever, these younger kids, when they call off or they call you and expect you to basically be able to be that floater person that can do anything when you haven't even had the time to learn how to do it. That's where your frustration comes from, correct?
Basically. Now, you'll teach me once, and if I don't apply it, I'll forget it. And I can't blame, because the manager wasn't necessarily a dickhead or anything like that. He wasn't an asshole or nothing, but...
Are we talking about Francis here?
No, we're not. No, he's cool. He's cool.
I was just saying, he's always been a good guy to me. I don't have anything against Francis.
He was always very blunt with me. He was actually going to send me out on my own way sooner, but then they ended up with somebody else there, and basically with that place, I just got this. The reason I actually left is because I got disappointed in how shit was going, and when I fuck up, I get really angry at myself.
Oh, nobody, like, that's the best way I could describe that is, I mean, cut you off, is like being on stage and having to sing a song or whatever, right? And you like butchering it, and just basically you feel like you have 1,000 eyes on you, and when you fuck up, it makes you feel, you hear people use that phrase, I felt this big. That's how you feel. You just basically, all eyes are on you. You drop the ball. You almost scored the winning touchdown, but you dropped it, and you lost the game, right? I mean, that's that sinking feeling you get when you fuck up something at work. And I can't imagine. I know you basically told me the story before, because
I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, you told me the story the day that it happened, because you basically came to my house right whenever it happened, and how, like, they it was just one thing after another kind of day. Like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. So
That's the way to describe it.
yeah, as I say, I've had plenty of days like that myself too. I was just say whether whether it be at work or it be at home, it doesn't necessarily even have to involve other people. It could be something as simple as I was trying to carry a load of laundry up the stairs, and every time I started walking, a sock would fall out, or this, that, or the other. Like I totally get that. So where are we at right now as far as? So we literally just hit the half hour mark. I want to try to go for an hour. So we got another. Does everybody got another hour in them, or half hour, not hour?
Yeah.
As I say, I felt like since the reason I checked is, and it was good timing. I felt like we could kind of segue out of work bullshit unless you had anything else in your system. We could kind of either go into the scheme of WWE wrestling.
I mean, if you'd have asked this question around the time it happened, I probably would have been a little more. But like, surprisingly, it's like, man.
You're over it to a point.
Yeah, I'm actually over it. So
Just doesn't care anymore. It's over.
no
It's what's the point? It's done.
Yeah, it's indifference. Like I don't hate anybody there. I don't.
No, I get that. And to be fair, as I say with the hotel, I mean, as much as I disapprove of the situation that's going on there right now, the only person I really dislike there is Toasty. I don't even really care. I don't hold a grudge against Toasty because that's his job and stuff like that. And I don't like the way shit goes there, and the morale's probably still kind of crappy. And I feel bad for my friends that still work there, but like outside of like just being frustrated from my past experience with it, like I don't hate it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to see the building get burnt down or anything crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Well, the hotel wasn't always, even though it had its shitty problems, it wasn't always bad.
Daddy,
Oh no, we got a special guest. What's up?
this is my dolls.
Oh, your dolls? You can come up here and play with your dolls. Just don't touch the computer, okay? But
Why?
Um,
This is my mind.
because we're recording something, honey.
Those.
But so what?
Those
I
are
mean,
mine.
like if there were an ideal shift, if I were to like be still working there, it'd be like I'd be working second shift, you would be working there, and Jenny would be in the bar.
That's a good.
Because then,
We don't even
although I mean, work there sucks because there's always these shortcomings. At least with you guys there, I know that I don't have to worry about the politics of the place. And really, if I need creative license to do whatever I need to do to get things done to help myself, I could, and there wouldn't be a problem. And if anything, I'd get help from either one of you guys, even though,
even if we're not necessarily.
it's not your job title. I could ask you guys to do something, Whereas I remember the first time around, hell, they had me running maintenance calls, and I'm not even maintenance. And they'd have me running these said maintenance calls while I have tickets in the bar bringing it back.
That's I was just saying. What we had there for a while was good. We had a good skeleton crew. Like, and I'm not, but like Jenny or Smitty in the bar, you or Abdul in the kitchen, and then like, and I know people disliked him for whatever reason, but if you had me or Paul working the desk, any combination of those 6 people, you're good. Because Paul and I both knew how to do anything as far as the money and the bullshit went up there. Between the 2 men, or 3, if Smitty, you're using Smitty, not Jenny, not dogging Jenny, but I don't really know how good Jenny's mechanical knowledge is. I know Smitty knows how to fix stuff. But if we had a problem with like an air conditioner unit, you and I could go up, somebody could come out and kind of just float in the lobby, we could go up and replace an air conditioner unit, whatever. We had it covered. I was going to say, so, and even if there was shortcomings, like you said, we had a skeleton crew kind of thing, and we all liked each other and got along. We didn't let it fuck up our job, over like we're dicking around most nights. But, she just bumped her head. But as I said, everything was pretty stoic, I guess you could say. We were good.